Wade, welcome back,
What's
bro.
up?
All
Thank
right,
you.
big up to all the viewers. Thank you for joining me. Um, One thing is glaringly obvious after this failed World Cup mission. And it's been a running theme since probably before the Gold Cup. It's a lack of cohesion. Team has no chemistry. The Reggae Boys have no rhythm. Pun intended.
Them offbeat, bro. For
Yeah,
sure.
man.
It's not reggae.
It has improved under Paul Hall, like the ball play, ball retention, those things. I definitely think that if they can stick with Paul Hall, they will improve. I think some of the better football that we have seen out of Jamaica in years is these last probably 4 games. Although the results aren't there, some of the same old mistakes. But looking past that, it's a team that hasn't gelled. It's a constantly shifting team. You'll have one squad for one set of one window, and then the next window a different set of players or players that you would deem important and you would want in your squad throughout the whole campaign are only in it for 1 or 2 windows. So you can't really get a feel for your teammates or work on a proper strategy.
Or know how they're going to react in a game, You
Yeah,
need to learn the little nuances, how they like to collect the ball, how them like to make them runs, how them like to run off the defender,
yeah.
you know.
The coach, I think, basically is doing what he can with what he has. Like I said before, I think with given time, I would expect better results. He had, like he said, he had some time with some youngsters and prepare them for Peru. Much younger, much less experienced than, say, his 23-man squad that he brought into the actual World Cup qualifiers. And the ball movement, the type of ball that they played was very impressive from the youngsters. A lot of local players and such. Went into the Mexico game where he didn't have that much time with the players, and we saw like a 2-day camp where we didn't see the cohesion that was there in the first half of that Peru game. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for
It
sure.
was very disjointed for most of the match, even though we took the lead. In the second half, we scored early, but we still didn't manage to hold off the game, even though we played majority of the game with 10 men, right? Panama, slight improvement. Away game, so it's always going to be a tough game. But they went down there and they scored 2 goals. Took the lead again, not able to maintain the lead. You know what I mean? Went down 3-1, then scored the second, the consolation. Then against Costa Rica, we saw a totally dominant Jamaica in the first half, completely dominant. For probably most of the match, Costa Rica probably had 2 or 3 shots. You know what I mean? Jamaica just doesn't have that cohesion to win these matches. They had many chances, played good football for a majority of it, moved the ball well, played out from the back, something I haven't seen them do ever. You know what I mean? The coach made a bold decision to drop Damian Noah and bring in the youngster Richard King, who he played for the first time in the Peru game, who looked very good. He played a back 3, you know what I mean? Willing to change it up. Ethan Pinnock looked good in the back 3 with Mariappa and Richard King. We see young Javane Brown coming in to replace Alvas Powell, who's the conditioning alone, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Him have over Alvas because Alvas gets injured almost every game. We saw a Taxi replaced by Greg Lee. Greg Lee played an excellent game today, especially in the first half. Costa Rica had no answer for him. You know what I mean? Ravel came in and the ball moved well. But a lot of these players were not consistently in the team. Javane Brown just came in like the last window or the window before. Greg Lee was nowhere to be seen, although he might have been injured. Ravel is called now and then. We hear a lot of personal issues with the coach before favorites being played. But just watching this window, even though the results didn't go Jamaica's way, which I really did not expect them to do. I expected them to do well in the Mexico match. I think they could have beaten Mexico. I think they could have beaten Costa Rica. But chances, lack of cohesion meant that a better prepared team would have qualified for the World Cup. This same set of players, better prepared, would have qualified for the World Cup. So I think I'm going to ask you this. Do you feel the Gold Cup was wasted?
I just don't think it was used efficiently.
Yeah.
You know, we were talking about during that period, there was a lot of problems with the JFF and not bringing players in and working out their permits, or actually having discussions with them and their team to let them know what their plans are, how they plan to unroll things, you know, not helping players with documentation. And you know, this is where what we've always been complaining about the JFF comes into play. This is where they let down Theodore Whitmore.
Yeah.
Right? Because not saying that Whitmore was the right man for the job, but he probably could have qualified for the World Cup with this team if there was better cohesion, if there was better logistics and less strain on the team. And they have to, I think people have to remember, when we talk about a football team nowadays, it's not just the players on the pitch, it's every single body involved, the kit man, you know, the physios, everybody plays a very important role. You know, the personal assistants who run around and find.
I agree with you on that, Wade. But where I disagree with you is I don't think Theodore Whitmore had the capacity to qualify this team for the World Cup. Because where I blame, part of being prepared falls on the coach.
I don't disagree.
Why I said that? When I see the difference in how Paul Hall prepares the team, and then I look back at how Theodore prepared his team, and even some of the players that Paul Hall has brought into the team, who are local products, some of them might not be playing local now. Richard King is playing local, and has shown them faith, and they have performed well. I think some people would have thought that Tapper would be more biased towards local players, but I think he was biased to certain local players. You understand me? I think he had his favorites, and that cost us.
But I think that you can say that about any coach.
Yeah, and his lack of tactics and preparation. Because when you see how the same set of players control the ball, move the ball, approach the game, I think is what they need now is time under Paul Hall.
Definitely.
Paul Hall another tournament.
I can agree with you 100%. But what I am really looking at,
not necessarily another World Cup tournament if he doesn't perform, but give him till probably another Gold Cup. Let's see what he does with the Nations League, what him can find out, because I think the Nations League is a good opportunity to find the young players to go forward. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And let's see what he can do with another Gold Cup.
Well, I mean, I don't want to keep Theodore's out of the position now. I don't want to keep flogging a dead horse. And like I said, I definitely agree that he was not the right man for the job. But I don't want it to distract from the point of the cohesion and the failure on the JFF.
Yeah.
To facilitate that. And I would also want to say, if there was a strong, cohesive, comfortable, well-oiled machine, I would still think, I'm still going to say it would be possible for Theodore to have qualified. Why I say this is because now we'd have a team fighting as well as, you know, yes, we'd have I don't want to say incompetent, but let us say, you know, incapable tactics of Whitmore, but with a team that's cohesive, understands the weaknesses of each other,
Yeah.
starting to compensate for that. And maybe even if a team is if a team can be so cohesive, it can know when to work around the coach's tactics.
You know what I think it is? Whitmore probably know what he wanted to do in his head, but his inability to communicate, which
To
is very
articulate it.
obvious, or
Yeah.
which is very obvious to even how he communicated in a press conference or whatever,
I agree
compared
with
to
you.
how someone like Paul Hall is able to bring across to even a journalist or answer a simple question or how he want to do things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It translates to a team as well when you have to talk to a room full of younger gentlemen and explain to them how they need to do things as a unit. You know what I mean?
For sure.
You have to be a good communicator and a teacher as a coach, also a good organizer. No, at the end of the day, yes, JFF have to take them beating because they are complicit. But if you are going to organize a team, why would you be trying to bring in Kevin Stewart and young man from Everton, Demar Gray at this point? Them man they should have the thing from before.
Long time.
You know what I mean?
Which speaks back to cohesion, you know.
Yeah.
You're not even if a man not gonna play and rub on the bed, just bring everybody together one time, everybody get to know everybody.
Yeah, man.
You know?
I tell you, you can't. We're putting the pieces together during the competition. The pieces should have been put together from before. We should have we already went through the Gold Cup and saw that there are certain deficiencies in the team. If you dribble down Jamaica's right side and put a cross in, probably on your second or third attempt, you're going to score. We've seen it happen over and over. When teams get desperate against us, they dribble at the right back, put a crossover, especially if it's Alvas at play. You understand? I think that is why even in that final match, they didn't start Damian Lowe neither. Because
fear for the cross.
That cross always seems to catch Damian Lowe out at the end of the game. And two, Damian Lowe is an excellent tackler, good defender, but ball distribution is poor. You understand? I think we saw today Jamaica play out at the back. I haven't seen them do that ever. With Richard King and Tinder on either side. And I must say Richard King is a gem of a player. He was on one side of Mariappa and Ethan Pinnock was on the other side of Mariappa. And one is a Jamaica Premier League player and one is an English Premier League player. And you could hardly tell the difference. You understand? That's how talented that young man is.
In all fairness though, King has a couple of years at Mariappa though.
King?
Yeah, no?
No man, King is a little youth.
That's what I'm talking about. Young youth is what I'm talking about.
Yeah, man. Mariappa old man. Mariappa is probably one of the players.
Right.
Big up Mariappa.
More senior players.
Yeah, but Mariappa probably is on his last cycle.
Right. That's exactly what I'm.
So seeing a Richard King step in now is definitely a positive thing. You know what I mean? I think we need one or two more young defenders. If we can find them local based, that is good. You know what I mean? We also have a couple out there on the the English thing, the championship. There's one in particular where I hope the GFF would probably try approach and try get him while I'm young. But I'm not going to call on it. But yeah, there are positives coming out of that last window. I think me and you, Wade, already said this World Cup qualifications was over from probably 2 windows ago. But positives. I like the change in coach. I think it should have happened before they went into the qualifiers, but I like the change in coach. I think he's a fair coach. When I see him give certain players a chance, you know what I mean? So yeah. I like what I see from the coach. Final thoughts, Wade?
I think we didn't do Paul Hall, JFF again. Sorry to be bashing JFF, but I deserve it. Paul Hall was not done any favors by the JFF in throwing him in at the last moment of the competition, and you know, his record now is 1-3, no?
Yeah.
And that's not good. I don't think, and I think that's also again a lack of the poor planning by them. And I want us to really focus on that, and we really need to start holding the JFF accountable and stop letting them allow to scapegoat these younger coaches. I mean, I know we already established that Theodore was not the right man, but I can't keep stressing that he was not given the right tools and support to do the job.
Yeah.
You know, so his failure was even predetermined. You know?
Yeah. I think a lot of us didn't go into the start of the World Cup qualifications very confident.
Positive, yeah.
I was more positive before the Gold Cup, but then when I saw how the team played in the Gold Cup, when I saw how certain players looked like totally out of place, you know what I mean? Certain players that we know are a lot more capable. I knew it was a system problem. For example, I guarantee you a Leon Bailey will play better under Paul Hall. You know what I mean? It's just the knowledge as a coach. And I can see the difference in just having the coaching badges and having that education behind it and understanding the game or taking the time to learn the game at that level. It makes a difference.
Definitely. And I think that's also, you touch on something when you mentioned Leon Bailey's name. I think that's all JFF did.
Turn up your mic a little.
I think that's all JFF did to kind of shift the attention on them by allowing, you know, the acquisition of these big name players like a Mikel Antonio, like a Leon Bailey. I think that kind of papered over the cracks and boosted the lack of confidence that was there that we saw running up into this World Cup campaign. And it's really sad because this is probably one of the best times to have qualified for the World Cup, with a weakened Mexico, a weakened USA, and all the minnows around us fighting it out and stripping points from each other. So
yeah,
you know, it was a big missed opportunity.
Yeah, let's be honest. You look at the difference between a Canada and a Jamaica. It's not the talent pool, you know. It's just the organization and a respect for the competition and your opponents.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Canada have 1 and 2 players where of recognition, just like Jamaica. You know what I mean? It's not a team full of stars per se.
Definitely not.
But they are a good team, and it's probably the team where I want to see them at the World Cup. And if they make it to the World Cup, I'm going to follow them and hope the best for them. You understand?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, let's face it, out of the CONCACAF right now, they probably are the ones looking the best to go farther in into the World Cup competition.
Yeah.
We're speaking about form right now.
Yeah.
You know, because the USA and Mexico are always sleeping giants. They can always pull something
Yeah,
out.
but look at what Canada did to the USA the other day.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So it is, and they did it to Mexico. You know what I mean? Yeah. Beat them. I tell you, you know, a lot of these teams are unbeatable. You know, there's no real superpower in a CONCACAF. You know, anybody can take anybody's scalp. You know, it's just that a lot of the teams aren't what they used to be, or they're not ready to take advantage of the opportunity, like a Jamaica. A Costa Rica isn't what they used to be. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Like, look at Costa Rica, Honduras, and El Salvador. Those are teams that traditionally perform better. Costa Rica has turned their form around, perform better than how they perform. To be honest with you, it should have been Panama, Jamaica, and Canada as the uncertainties in the group.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So to show you how Canada and Panama are performing, the group is there for the taking. You understand?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
All right.
think the internet was dropped on me.
Yeah. All right, my boy. I'm gonna wrap it up there.
All right.
Because I look like Flo will mash up the progress. So yeah, thank you for watching, guys. Wade, thanks for joining me. You don't know. Disappointing outcome to everything, but we move. You know what I mean? Hopefully, we I'll be there to watch the last round of games. You know what I mean? We'll just be playing for pride and the
And to critique Mr. Hall, we have to
Yeah.
watch his progress now. It's
Yeah.
very important. He's going to be the mainstay right now in the team.
yeah,
It's personnel. It's going to be a lot of them is going to be the last time we'll probably see them.
yeah,
You know, so this is about Mr. Hall and his progression, and hopefully, he can regain the confidence of the nation.
yeah,
Good luck to you, Mr. Hall.
yeah. All right, guys, we're gonna leave it right there. Remember, like, subscribe, and stay tuned.